Hey Fit Friends, and welcome to my channel. I'm Holly of Renewal Fitness Coaching if you haven't been here before, and in this video I'm going to be doing a brief recap of the Legacy Triathlon in Long Beach. I've still got my race number on. I haven't been able to get all of them off yet because these are kind of a pain to get off, but I just competed yesterday, so while it's fresh, I'm going to share with you what the race is like. So we got up at about 3 a.m. because transition opened at 4:30 and parking, we had to be in parking between basically 4:30 and 5 because roads closed at 5 a.m. So we got up at 3, we left at 3:45, we took our food with us, we started eating at about 4:30 to give us about 2.5–3 hours to digest our food. So here we are. Well, set up, my bike ready, wetsuit, transition area. And then I had some coffee to get some caffeine in at about 6 o'clock. And then I had some pre-workout with some caffeinated electrolytes in it a little bit before the race. I had planned to take also a honey about a half hour before the race with more caffeine in it, but I was too full from breakfast still. I was too nervous. I felt like I had too much liquids in my stomach, so I didn't do that. But I don't think it mattered. For a sprint, you really don't need a ton of nutrition. So I just had this like carb-rich protein shake basically in the morning. Low fat, just basically a lot of carbs and protein.
Nervous, very nervous.
Very nervous. So the swim is in the ocean. It's in kind of a protected area where there's not a lot of waves. There's like one wave that you have to get past when you jump into the water, but other than that, it's very calm. It's almost like swimming in a bay, so you don't have to worry about big waves. It was a 750-meter swim that's basically a square. So you go out a few hundred feet, I don't know the exact distances, and then across and then back in. So just kind of a big box. Not bad at all, went very quickly, pretty simple. Again, no major like waves or current. On this particular day, the weather was amazing. It was sunny by the time we got in the water. There were people who swam without wetsuits, and it's probably doable. I don't like that kind of cold water, but it actually was not horrible. The water was, I think, high 60s, and it felt totally comfortable. And I'm kind of a wuss in cold water, so it was fine. Then the transition, T1, is very long. I don't know if it will always be this way, but you basically have to run up the beach and then down this whole like side pathway to get to the parking lot where transition is. But they take you all the way around the parking lot basically and back in. So for a lot of people, transition was like 4 or 5 minutes just because you're running so far to get into transition. Plenty of time to take off your wetsuit, get your goggles off your head, all of that stuff. And then the bike, so they closed all of the streets. So it was really nice. We had it all to ourselves. Lots of cones, lots of people directing how things went. It starts on a little bit of an incline, so you do kind of have to go uphill, but it's really not bad. It goes pretty quickly, and then the rest of the course is pretty flat with some subtle downhills and some subtle uphills, just barely, but it feels pretty flat most of the time. So really nice. You can use the downhill to kind of pick up some speed and fly past some people, hopefully. And it's 2 loops, so you kind of go out up to Temple Avenue in this case. I don't know if that'll change in the future. All the way back down, you go around Shoreline Drive to almost the freeway, and then you turn around and then you do that whole thing again. And in my water bottle on the bike, I put carbohydrates, electrolytes, and branch chain amino acids to just give a little bit of extra energy, a little boost, make sure I had enough nutrients, because the run tends to wear me out, so I had to make sure I was well fueled for that. On the run, I did take my own bottle. You don't necessarily need it. They have aid stations with water and Gatorade, but I took a bottle with a little bit of like a Gatorade type drink in it. I think I had about 3 sips. I just didn't want a whole lot more liquid in my stomach. So I had more than enough water and nutrition than I even needed. I didn't go through most of it all, and I still felt pretty good. So you don't really need a ton of nutrition for this type of race. Just a carb-rich meal the night before or the full day before. I would pretty much load up on carbs, and then the day of a very carb-rich breakfast. a little bit to get you through the rest of the day. Probably have a spare gel or some carbs in your bottle, just in case you're starting to get tired and need that extra energy. So running out, very quick and easy. You get pretty much on the path immediately out of transition. The only thing that was kind of weird is both my husband and I started our watches pretty much right after we got out of transition and onto the path, but I don't know where they technically started the run because both of us were at about 1.3 miles probably when we hit their mile marker sign that said 1 mile. So we actually both ran about 3.2 or so miles, and the run is technically supposed to be 3.1 kilometers, or miles, sorry. But the run is just flat. It's right along the beach. They don't have it completely blocked off, so we were running by other people who were just out there walking or running in the morning. So it's a little tight, but not too bad. So it's really quick and easy, and then you kind of run out onto the beach, into the arch, and do your final, yay, I'm a triathlete, I finished the race. All right, so race is done. I got my little finisher medal here. It was good. It was hard. It's surprising how hard a sprint can be, but you're basically going all out effort, so that's why it can be really tough. I got a PR on my bike. I got a PR on my run. It was a fun race. It was good. Very tiring. A lot of competition. So this race was only sprint. There's no Olympic, there's no Ironman. It's also a ITU race. So on Sunday, all of the professionals came and raced. It was a para-triathlon national championship. So this is becoming a very big race. It was the largest one I've done so far, although I've not done a ton. And I imagine in years to come, it's gonna be much bigger. So if you are a beginner to triathlon, I think this would be a great race because it is fast, it is flat, and it is fun. It's fun and easy. It's a really good race. And then the rest is just train really hard, go as hard as you can, and have a lot of fun. So that was pretty much it. I hope that helps. If you guys have more specific questions about this race, if you're planning to do it in a future year when you're watching this video, then go ahead and leave comments down below. I'll be happy to answer and try to help you as best I can. I'll also be posting a blog about this race with a lot more details, with kind of more tips and insights on my website at renewalfitcoach.com. You can go to my blog there and find a blog with more details and links and everything about the race. So hope this helps. Thanks for watching and good luck on your fitness journey.